This time we're going to take the 3, 4, 6 and 8 beat units that we looked at last time and just develop them through some small rhythmic changes. Now, although this doesn't learn any new playing material in terms of a fingering or a pattern, actually working these things through rhythmic modulations or rhythmic tables is very challenging. Now, this is related to my beat shifts series, so if you want to really get inside this, then I would suggest going and looking at that, where I go in depth into the detail of these rhythmic changes. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the 3 beat unit. Now, we had 2 fingerings for the 3 beat unit with the Kanjira. We had 3 close strokes, 3, 1, 3, with an accent on the first of the 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, ta, ki, ta, ta, ki, ta, ta, ki, ta, ta, ki, ta. And then we had open, open, closed. So they're the 2 fingerings that we had. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start out and we're going to take both patterns through a simple modulation from 8th notes into triplets. 3, 4. So now we're going to modulate both patterns from triplets through into 16th notes. 3, 4. Now we're going to modulate both patterns from 16th notes into 16th note triplets. 3, 4. Finally, we're going to put all of those together in one rhythmic exercise. Now, we could shift up to 30-second notes at the end, but for these patterns, at this point in our learning process, I think it's wise to just stay with the 16th note triplets. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that at the faster tempos, or at the, you know, once you've got to 16th notes and the 16th note triplets, these can be very hard to articulate. So don't worry if you just want to stay with the lower tempo of the 8th notes and the 8th note triplets, because even mastering those levels is sometimes very difficult. You've got to be very accurate with it and make sure you get each level perfectly in time before you move on to the next one. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with spending a good amount of time with each level. Although this lesson is obviously condensed into one short video here on YouTube, you can you know, bear in mind that you don't need to do it quickly. You can come back again and again and again and really take your time with these exercises. So let's look at the whole rhythmic table for the 3-beat unit. First with the closed, closed, closed pattern, and then followed by the open, open, closed pattern. 3, 4. So now let's do the same with our 4-beat pattern. Now remember, with the 4-beat pattern we had open, closed, closed, closed. So 1, 3, 1, 3. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. So let's start. We're going to take that from 8th notes through to 8th note triplets. 3, 4. Now let's take our 4-beat pattern from the 8th note triplets into 16th notes. 3, 4. Now let's take our 8th note pattern from 16th notes into 16th note triplets. 3, 4. This pattern is a little bit easier to get faster than the 3-beat patterns before, because we just have consecutive 1, 3, 1, 3 strokes, and so there's no double with the 3 fingers or with the 1 finger. So it should be a little bit easier. Let's look at the whole rhythmic table now for the 4-beat unit. 3, 4. we're going to do the same with our 6-beat unit. So just to recap our 6-beat pattern, it was basically our 2 3-beat units put together to equal 6 beats. And we had open, open, closed, 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 closed. 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, accent 1, 3. So now let's look at that going from 8th notes into the triplet level. 3, 4. Now let's look at that going from triplets into 16th notes. 3, 4. Now let's look at that going from 16th notes into 16th note triplets. And just to remind you, if you can't get to this level, it doesn't matter. Just working at the slower levels or the less dense levels, the 8th notes, the 8th note triplets, and 16th notes is absolutely fine. You know, slowly work your way up to, you know, going to these denser, more difficult patterns to play at that tempo. 3, 4. So now let's look at the whole rhythmic table using our 6-beat unit. 3, 4. So now finally, let's look at our 8-beat unit. Let's recap with that. We had open, closed, 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 open, open, closed, 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 open. 1, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1. So that's our basic pattern. Let's look at that going from eighth notes into the eighth note triplets. 3, 4. Now we're going to look at it going from eighth note triplets into the 16th notes. 3, 4. Now we're going to go from the 16th notes into the 16th note triplets. Because this pattern is longer, it's a little bit trickier to get going through the time shifts. I would urge you to go and look at the beat shifts series that I've got, where I go into detail with each different rhythmic unit. Take them through the different gear shifts, the different modulations with phonetics and clapping. It's very, very important to work on these exercises phonetically, although in this particular lesson I'm just covering the playing aspect of it. 3, 4. So, the whole rhythmic table. 3, 4. So we can see that this is a very, very useful exercise and really helps to focus on the purity of your strokes and the accuracy with a metronome or with whatever else you're going to use to keep time. It's a vitally important lesson because a lot of the rhythm work of Kanjira involves this detailed modulation. Now, during the course, we're not just going to work on stuff like this. There's going to be a lot of basic groove applications. So the lessons are going to be quite mixed. There's going to be some that focus specifically on more advanced, more sort of intellectual side of rhythm, and some of it is going to be pure groove and easy applications that you could employ in rock or pop or jazz or whatever type of idiom outside of the Indian tradition you would choose to play the instrument in. It's an absolutely brilliant instrument, and for me it's probably one of the most useful instruments that I've ever had. Whenever I've taken it on sessions, people have always been, I mean, literally blown away. When you get it on the mic and they hear it in the control room, they're like, wow, that's, you didn't imagine that. And even live, sometimes, you know, you can, people are shocked because it's a small, tiny instrument and you get this massive sound out of it and a lot of complexity. So I hope you're enjoying these lessons. There's going to be more, so do come back, subscribe and like, and do all the necessary things to help keep the channel healthy, and then we can keep putting new material on. So I'll see you next time. One additional message I'd like to quickly add before signing off, and that is, please do check my Kanjira book out. It's on Hudson Music. There are thousands of examples. You can download it in the Hudson app, and it means that all of the music examples are clickable at different tempos. So it's a really good learning resource. So do have a little peep at that, and come back soon for the next lesson.